This kid is a gamer. He's a baller. He's a playmaker and a shot caller. In case you did.
Now let's move into some pro football. I have two things to say. TD Experience fans will know this. Tebow, Victor Cruz. Yeah, they've quickly became my two favorite players this season. Deservedly so. Both, nothing was expected of them, and they've come out and been true stars. Victor Cruz setting the New York Giants single season receiving yards record, breaking big plays every time he steps on the field. Tim Tebow taking a 1-4 down and out Denver Broncos team, leading them to a division title, and then beating the Pittsburgh Steelers, passing for over 300 yards, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round of playoffs, the #1 defense in the NFL. Nobody thought he could do it, but he did, and you got to give them props. People still want to talk trash about Tebow, but as Skip Bayless says, all he does is win. All he does is win. That DJ Steve Porter remix, I mean, you can't get much truer than that. And on to this weekend, I really, really think that the Broncos can beat the Patriots. That first game, the Broncos came out firing on all cylinders, went down the field, scored some points on the Patriots. A lot of people after that, people want to talk about, oh, Tebow looked horrible in the last 3 games of the season. After that Patriots game, people were saying, even though they lost, that was the best throwing game that the kid put together. I agree with that. The Patriots defense isn't that strong. The Broncos defense really is. I mean, I don't know really the possibility of maybe Brian Dawkins getting back on the field for this one. Who knows? And we know Von Miller's injury, I mean, it's only going to heal. I don't think it's getting worse having that cast on there. If he can get that cast off, it'll make a big difference. They got some pressure on Big Ben with Robert Ayers and Elvis Dumervil, and I think they can do that to Brady. I think if they can keep this game in, maybe the 20, low 30 bracket, I think they have a great chance to win it. Last time the fumbles and turnovers undid them. Brady kind of took apart that secondary, but if you look at the secondary last week, Champ Bailey made some great plays, and Champ Bailey's one of those great players that does not have a Super Bowl ring, and I think he's super motivated for this, and an 8-8 team, people want to diss them, but the Broncos are a legitimate team, and I think they can give the Patriots trouble this Saturday night. Now, on to the other games. The first game on Saturday, I believe, it's Saturday, is the Saints and the 49ers. And this truly is the old adage, the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object. That Saints offense, which is firing on all cylinders, against that 49ers defense, which has been really strong all year. And I think it's going to be a great game. I think, again, in this one, if the 49ers can keep it, low-scoring, 24-21 type game, they've got a great shot to win. Everybody's really picking the Saints in this game because they've just looked so great. I thought Detroit really had a great chance to beat them, but Detroit wanted to play the shootout game with them, and you're not going to beat New Orleans in a shootout, especially in the Superdome. That's my take on that one. I think, New Orleans defense really isn't that strong. If you can get the ball rolling with Frank Gore early in the game, set a precedent and hit the Saints in the mouth a little bit, make this a physical contest, they're going to have a great shot. Alex Smith is going to have to keep doing what he did this whole season. Alex Smith cannot let the playoff jitters get to him. The 49ers are going to have to play their kind of ball to win this game. And let's remember, the Saints are going on a cross-country road trip for this, and the Saints, they did make the Super Bowl by beating Chicago in Chicago, but, I mean, let's be real here, the Saints are a completely different team in the Superdome. Now let's go on to the Sunday games. We've got the Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be, I think it's going to be a lot better game than people give it credit for. I mean, the Texans defense has been amazing all season. I don't know if I can put it up there with the Ravens defense, but if you look at the offense, the Texans clearly have more weapons. Arian Foster and Ben Tate might be the best 1-2 running back duo in the NFL currently. Andre Johnson showing up. I mean, TJ Yates threw for 150-something yards passing, and Andre had 90 of them. So, Andre Johnson being big, and the Ravens secondary is definitely the weak part of their defense. If TJ Yates can, get a little bit of confidence, throw some early balls to Andre, and get that running game going, I don't see why the Texans could not pull the upset. This was a close game the first time around. The Ravens beating the Texans in Houston early in the season. But, I don't know about Flacco. I just can't really trust him in a playoff run. This is a really tough one for me to pick. I'll pick it at the end with the timely decisions. I'm going to end TD experience as always with that. Now on to the New York Giants and Green Bay Packers. And I love this matchup. The first game around. That was really the toughest game the Packers had all season. They had to kick a last-second field goal to beat the New York Giants in New York. And right now, the New York Giants are playing the best football. Maybe about them and the Saints are playing the best football in the NFL right now. Their defense shut out the Atlanta Falcons this past week with all the weapons they have. Roddy White, Michael Turner, Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez. The Giants defense shut them down, and that defensive line, you can't really get better than that. JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul, he's really become a star this year with Tuck, Umenyiora, Chris Canty, and getting Michael Boley back in that linebacking core from injury has been huge for them. And Brandon Jacobs has been stepping up big for them, and I think the Giants, they have the weapons on offense, with Cruz, with Hakeem Nicks, who really showed up this past week, Manningham as well. Ballard, he played this past Sunday. He'll definitely play again this week. And the other tight end that they have that I like, Bear Pasco, he put him in there, run the two tight end set, and give the ball to Bradshaw and Jacobs. We saw what LeGarrette Blount did against Green Bay. I think they can have some success there. Their defense can do it. Yes, Aaron Rodgers, great weapons across the board. Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, Jermichael Finley, Donald Driver. The key in this game is going to be the Giants secondary being able to, shut down, or maybe not shut down, but slow down the Green Bay passing attack a little bit and try to make them run the ball. If Green Bay can't get the run game going at all in this game, which has been, a story of the past. The last time they played, Aaron Rodgers was the leading rusher for the Green Bay Packers with 30-some yards. The Giants are not going to be afraid of the weather. The Giants are not going to be afraid of Lambeau Field. They beat them there in the NFC Championship game in 2007. A lot of people are drawing comparisons in this team in 2007. I see it completely. I think this is going to be a great game, and I think a lot of people could be shocked coming Sunday night at the outcome of this one.
This kid is a gamer. He's a baller. He's a playmaker and a shot caller. In case you didn't